So what have you kind of seen over the past year and a half or so?
Well, I would say over the past year and a half, we have come across a lot of residences in town where people have way more than the allotted number of animals they should have. I don't believe these people intend to start out that way. I believe they have misguided compassion. I think they're taking the animals in thinking they're going to help them, and then all of a sudden they form some type of attachment to the animal, some type of mental connection, I'm not sure what, that they just can't let the animal go, and they just keep adding. I believe that these people have some type of issue, maybe a void they're trying to fill, but I believe it is a sickness.
Well, that's one thing we talked with Fred with, is that, they start, they think they're doing a good thing, and then it gets out of control, and then you get deplorable conditions. I mean, I have never gone in one of the homes you've rated, but the smells that just come out of them is incredible.
Absolutely. It's not only not healthy for the animals, but it's definitely not healthy for the people that are living in those conditions. And that's really one of our big concerns, is the people. Obviously, we're here for the animals, but the people have to be taken care of first. And we have to try to convince them that it's no life for them, nor is it a life for the animals. But unfortunately, a couple of the cases that we have worked on this past year and a half, a couple of the people that we have seized a large number of cats, especially cats, from, have gone back to collecting cats again. And honestly, it's almost impossible to stop.
I mean, would you say that it's been the worst recently than you've seen in years past?
Yes, absolutely.
What do you think is attributing to that?
I don't know if it's the stress factors of the finances in the world. I don't know if it's, I don't know what's going on with these people. I mean, I think that a lot of these people happen to be older people, and they need to feel needed, and when they get these animals depend on them, and I think that's what they live for, is the animals, and they bypass meals for themselves, medicine for themselves, to give to the animals, and that's not healthy.
I mean, and you've had to deal with these people basically, I mean, one-on-one essentially. I mean, there's a whole group there, but I mean, you go in and, I mean, I remember the one with the lady just down the road. I mean, she was there when you guys were taking them. What do they say to you, or what are they saying when you're in there and talking to them?
They truly can't understand. I mean, they don't see anything wrong with what they're doing. They realize they have too many cats, but they don't see what the problem is besides the number of cats they have. And they're not able to afford to vet them. They're not able to give them the attention that these cats need on a separate one-on-one basis. And it gets away from them. And then it turns unhealthy for everybody involved.
I mean, and I know there's a number. What's the limit of animals that somebody should even have here?
Well, the limit is 6. You can have 3 dogs, 3 cats, 6 dogs, but it's 6 in a single family home. And that's plenty. If you've got 6 cats, that's plenty. And if you have 6 dogs, that's really a lot. I mean, dogs are a little bit more maintenance, where cats, basically do their own thing. But you still have to keep up on cat maintenance as well, clean their litter box and make sure they don't have fleas and things like that. And they get sick too, and they need to go to the vet and have shots just like every other animal.
You have these cases, but then you'll have the cases where people have 6 dogs, 6 cats, and they take perfectly fine care of them. That's not the big issue that we're looking at. Recently, I mean, one of the cases we worked earlier this year was the one with the 44 cats and dogs, and the Humane Society is overcrowded when it comes to finding a place for them. So what kind of a strain does that put on you from code enforcement standpoint when you have to take in an incredibly large seizure like that, and you don't really know where to put any of them? Right.
Well, unfortunately, that has been a problem when we come across these animals. We don't have a place to take them when the shelter's full. It's unfortunate. A lot of times the animals are so sick, but sometimes they have to be euthanized, and we don't like to do that. But it's better, I believe, for an animal to live in that type of environment is no life for an animal. So I would rather see an animal be put down than have to suffer that type of lifestyle in a house full of 50 other cats, because he's not really, that's not quality life for an animal. How
have community groups like TNR or your special, I don't even know what to call them, special individuals who kind of help you guys out. How has that helped when it comes to finding a temporary spot for these until you can
they're
get it figured?
fantastic. The volunteers in this community, Terre Haute is just absolutely filled with animal lovers. And everybody wants to help, and it really has helped. A lot of these cats we put in temporary homes, we've sent them to rescues, and everybody wants to step up and help. And without that, I honestly don't know what would happen to these animals. We obviously can't let them live in the environment that they've been in, but yet if we don't have any place to take them, without these volunteers within our community stepping up, the fate of the cat would not look too good. Or dogs. We don't have a lot of dog hoarders in town. Dogs are a little bit more complicated and take a little bit more care than a cat does.
What would you say has been maybe the worst case? It could be the 44 cats, but what's the worst case that you've seen in the recent year or in your time with code enforcement?
The worst hoarding case?
Yeah.
I would say the one on South 18th Street where we found about 18 cats living in about 3 foot of feces. And the house was demolished 2 weeks later because it was extremely unsanitary. That was probably the worst, nasty, filthy thing I've ever saw. It was horrible, and to know that an actual person was staying in that house, knowing what she was doing, she was fully aware of it and continued to do it. And I believe to this day she has no remorse for that.